we communicate? Through language and speech. Through written information. Through actions. Through technology.
I'm going to Buttering.
It's about listening to the person in whichever way that person communicates.
You have to be a good listener and understand the person.
We communicate in many different ways. Good communication helps people maintain their dignity.
We've got Dirty Dancing at the theatre, Cats at the theatre, Grease.
We need to communicate about what's happening in our lives.
When Matthew's got things coming up, he always writes it down into his diary. If he's going to concerts or he's going on holiday, we encourage him to find the correct dates and write it all in. We'll make sure that we check it over that he's got all the right dates, and we encourage him to check that if he's got anything planned in the week, that he finds it in his diary to see what he's going to be doing. The diaries are kept in the communal area because staff write in and fill in what Matthew's done in any day, any trips that he's been out on, and we also record the menus, what food they've eaten and everything, and that's one way that staff can find out what's been happening. If you haven't been on shift for a few days, you come in and you read up on the diaries and you see what's been going on, really.
Make time to get to know the people you support.
Well, I do my best to treat everyone as an individual and look at what they want.
I'll be beside myself with glee. Come on, let's get in.
So it's important to sit and find out about them and how they find enjoyment, how they laugh, things that they like to do.
Have I got to hold his hand? If you want to.
Things that they've done in the past that we can sit and talk about. I was working with past memories of being at the beach. Ailsa's registered blind, so we brought shells and sand so that they actually feel it. Communication is very important, to be able to sit and talk, getting to know them, finding out what makes them happy and what makes them sad.
Went to the beach every chance we got.
Things I discussed with Ailsa over the years about a family time.
I'm trying to think what it is. What is it? What do I do? Do I teach?
Well,
You did teach, didn't you?
I did teach, but I don't seem to do anything now.
never done teaching here.
I'm retired.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm retired.
Just relax.
I was a school teacher and I loved it. And I treated the children well. I felt a lot of them needed help. They needed comfort, help, not this sort of thing. Very important how you treat each other.
Oh, aye.
We must never belittle people.
That's right.
Because we're going downstairs now.
Just wait 1 minute while I put Ailsa into a chair.
Well, listen, we can walk downstairs.
Well, aye.
Well, I've got your chair here, so it may be a little bit easier for you.
We're human beings who can walk, you know. Yes, but I've got a Gary back.
If you sit just for 2 minutes, because you have hurt your hips.
I have heard me up, yes.
Communication between all those supporting a person is important.
Do you have a new frame, Rubina, or your stick?
Yeah, my stick.
Let me get your
There are so many different types of problems that might arise around communication. Obviously, a lot of our people have got dementia, so if you come up to them and give them a whole choice of a whole list of, do you want this or this, it'll be too overwhelming. So sometimes what's quite nice is maybe just to bring 2 or 3 things out and show it, and then they'll actually visualise it and they'll be able to point to what they would like.
I'm just going to bring in a couple of things, and then you can choose.
This is again about getting to know the person and getting to understand the person, because basically the more as they get to know the person, they will find other ways of communicating and other ways of reaching out to that person. So just sometimes they respond to mirroring. So for example, if they are not cooperating with brushing their teeth, for example, you could actually just start doing the movement and they may actually pick up on that movement and start doing that themselves. So there are so many different ways, and obviously there's no right or wrong way, but it is about getting to know that person and what they respond to, basically.
Okay, Rebecca, which one of these would you like? That one. Okay. John should be here in a minute.
Yes.
I think he's just
My role is to look after people in their own home and to keep them independent in their own homes for as long as possible. You get to know the particular person, and some people obviously want to be as independent as possible. So if they can do it themselves, they prefer to. And obviously things work very much better when actually people have a supportive family. Robina a lot of it is companionship. I don't do her personal care, and I tend to provide the activity.
Yeah.
So I encourage her to go out, and we sometimes have lunch or a coffee out.
Oh, that's really, really delicious. Oh, look at the rain.
Obviously there are sort of handovers, and after a while they get fairly routine.
John, I think you need some more visit record sheets. I'll go to the car and get some more out for you. I've given Robina her medication.
Right. You need to read the logs. Most important single one is probably the medication log, to check that they've had their medication. From time to time, you get new situations and you have really quite important judgment calls. Particularly, I think, when to call in other people's help. But yes, there is a lot of support in what you're encouraged to do. If in doubt, pass the decision up.
We very much empower our staff to feedback to us. So if there's something that they're not sure about, or if they've noticed a change in somebody, or they've noticed that something on the care plan, for example, has changed, we really encourage that communication, that two-way process. Care workers have to be a lot of skills are needed. Obviously they have to be very empathetic, they have to be very organised.
I don't think we can get in that way.
Oh, right.
Or maybe
I think they have to think a little bit outside the box. I think when you're a carer you have to understand that people are not robots, and whatever says on the care plan, that gives you a general outline, but you have to be a little bit flexible and you have to listen to the person, basically, and just, it's not a checklist of I've done this, this and this. I think you have to be very flexible.
Use technology to help people communicate.
We use DVD and iPads that we have now with each of the people who live here to record their support plans. So each person co-produces their support plan with the key workers, the families, myself. We get together, talk it all through. We've got various headings that we use, make sure that they're happy with what's in there. For example, when we've updated a support plan with Moira and I have sat and discussed progress that she's made, things that she's really happy with, further progress she'd like to make. So we've changed all that on the laptop. That's been printed off, and then we sit in her room, so she's got some privacy, and we just video that, and then that can be transferred onto DVD. So Moira's got that to access whenever she wants to. And it's a really good way of just being able to sit and say, well, yeah, this time last year you were doing that, but look at what you're doing now. And also a lot of the progress that she wants to make is actually her ideas now. It's actually her coming up with ideas and saying, I'd like to be able to do this now. So that's really good. It's a really good way of being able to work, and the ownership of the support plan is actually Moira's. We're just supporting her to carry it out. So then I'll take this and I'll put it on the DVD.
Yes.
And then you'll have it to watch back whenever you want.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Okay. Each of the people who live here have got their own iPads now, and we've found them to be really good for doing lots of different things on.
There, Nick.
So he's watching what we're doing, isn't he? Val's always wanted to use a computer, but she's not able to recognise letters or numbers. So obviously for an iPad, if she knows what she wants to press, like if there's a particular game that she likes, she can just press on it. She doesn't have to wait for somebody else to support her to access anything. She just knows how to get onto it straight away, and it's another form of communication for her. We've also used them for Skyping. So I'll just press on there and press answer with video. Okay. There's Peter, right? He can hear you, and there's Roy.
All right. Hello, Moira, you all right? Yes.
We use Skype at Lavernio for each of the ladies to contact people that they don't get an opportunity to speak to regularly. So, for example, Moira was Skyping some friends that she's made in another service that Scope has, which is down in Halifax.
Training on the Wednesday to become a mentor.
We also use Skype for the ladies to have contact with some of our senior management in Scope, so they can all speak to like my manager, for example, and they're talking about their lives, what they like to do, which is really good. It's making new connections, so it's great.
And over the other side from where I am is where the other two staff go.
Language and cultural needs should be taken into account.
In Leicester we have a very diverse community, and it's important when we're placing our staff with the people that we provide services for that we match them as best as possible. So we recruit from that community, so we're able to incorporate language requirements and cultural needs.
We ensure that we listen to people and their carers and families, and we need to take on board cultural needs and differences. We would listen to and speak with individuals with sensitive and understanding of religious needs and preferences.
It's definitely beneficial for the people that we care for. They get a better service because their confidence in us increases, their anxiety is far less. They feel that their care is more personalised, is taken into consideration their cultural needs and enabling them to communicate effectively with the people who are caring for them.
Care workers' language skills are important for communication and understanding people's needs.
At Age UK, at interview, we always ensure that the applicants have good verbal and written communication skills. It's absolutely vital for the people that we care for that they are fully conversant and that they can read the care plan and understand clearly what the person requires.
I'm Alka, I'm from Age UK, I do respite work. That's what I've been doing past 10 years. And I'm going there past about 3-4 months now, and she's a lovely lady. She just needs someone there to reassure her that, a bit of company for her when her daughter Eva goes out, to just have a little break now and again. So we go and step in and just be with her. Normally when I arrive at the house about 6:15 and then just have a little chat with Anna and Eva. How's her week been? And then Eva goes out for a little while, whatever she needs to do. She has a break, and me and Anna sometimes watch TV together.
Care workers should be supported to develop good non-verbal skills.
I think with Anna's communication is very important, so you have to sort of give her a rub on the hand that makes sure that you're there, and she does do eye contact, and now and again you do get a little smile from her, so then you know she's happy with you. To me, dignity means understanding the person's needs. In my work, we have to treat people with dignity, everything what we do. You have to be a good listener and understand the person.